It is birthday o'clock, and in today's package, we are doing a great celebration of our African grandmama. Hello, everyone, welcome back to another segment in today's episode. Let's dive into African lady's family who just got married to Chinese husband based in China with an African grandmama. Where you note that the attitude, the behavior, and the character of a Chinese husband has changed a lot. Yes, you know that the way they treat Africans and the way the African wife are being taken care of is far different from what people thought or people think. There is not this gap. The gap between the white and the black is being closed in this relationship, and there's no gap. You can see that the way others have been taken care of, that is how our African lady is being taken care of. Well, having notes where the African lady model is around, and you will see the drastic change in her health, the happiness that rose, the environment. Well, at first we weren't seeing African lady eating in a grand style. She was just eating in a very local restaurants. I'm like, wow, is this what we're supposed to see? Is this kind of restaurants? Many were wanting to see this kind of restaurants because when it comes to food in the Chinese environment, food itself is one of the top notch, and food itself is one of the go in the Chinese environment. So many were like, we want to see where is the street food, where are the street food, and where are those special delicacies they're expecting from the Chinese people. But lucky enough, that on this occasion, that there's a lot of good restaurants which has been showcased in this particular package. Well, note another thing that African lady births her husband, the wife, have to, dash her African grandmama. A kind of natural, we call it wig. In Africa, it is called wig. Well, the African hair is kind of being short and here in kind of wool, while the foreign hair, or should I say the Chinese hair, is far different from that of the Africans. And more so, you see most Africans, you can see as a African lady what she's wearing is just wig. And most African ladies actually love putting on wigs or wearing should I say yes wig or attachments like the one her African grandmama plaited is called attachments in a woven form. Well, it's kind of, you can use wig to do same parts. You can as well use same attach to do wig. So that the boss was so friendly. The boss wife was so friendly to have given a African grandmama a kind of wig to be looking so cute. Well, apart from the environment, apart from other necessary things, other important things, that African grandmas change a lot. Yes, in her first coming, she was putting on gown, a kind of gown, and so like, doesn't mean if you get into the Chinese environment, you stop putting on gown, you stop putting on skates. There's nothing like skate. There's nothing like gown. You often, you have to come look with your canvas. You have to come look with your trouser and your sweater. Yes, most times when you reach a certain area, your clothing have to change, and even the way you view life have to change. It's just natural. Just imagine an African lady putting on thick sweater under the African environment. Someone will like, come, are you sick, are you cold? Well, in the Chinese environment, you see is their day-to-day dress nature. You see that they dress in this particular attire, they dress in this form. It's a birthday o'clock, it's a birthday season, but before then, a test needs to be conducted, which is usually done by both Africans and non-Africans. And before you trip in into a state, you often need to do this particular test. It's very necessary to know the health of the individual. And if there's any form of lapses, I think it should be or will be corrected. As you can see, African lady on this particular package is ready to do that test, which is very important for her to do. Well, that the Chinese hospital is different from any other hospital. On this special day, you also know that they have to do this. She was being accompanied by her husband to do this test, and well, it's a kind of painful, but it's very important she conducts it for them to be clear, and then for she to be well fitted in the environment. One hour standing, that African grandmama cannot do without taking pork meat. Yes, when it comes to the Chinese environment or the Chinese cooking, one of their best meal to say is the pork and the pork meal. Well, that they don't eat cow meat, they don't eat they eat chicken. Yes, chicken is one of their best meal. They also take in some other protein, but if it comes to pork, just count them. Number one, they enjoy eating pork meat. Well, our African grandmama is not exempted on this course. You can see that she is waiting for the roasted pork meat. Well, some persons don't like taking pork, while some person is their best meat. Well, for me, I think pork meat is not part of my protein because of the fats, and apart from the fats, I don't just have good taste for it. Why for some other person is their best protein. Without pork meat, the fat meal is not complete. Well, I don't know how it tastes, but I think for them to have liked it, that means the pork meat tastes so well and tastes so delicious. Well, the outdoor environment, should I say the outdoor delicacy, the outdoor entertainment in the Chinese environment is such an amazing one. That everyone are out there, to do or to take in street food. And we saw like they don't cook in their house, they do. Yes. And if you check in our recent video, you realize that one thing they don't joke with is their stomach. One thing the Chinese people don't joke with is their stomach. And one thing that is much top notch is meal, different kind of meal. You hardly see them just eating just vegetable. You see vegetable, you see meat, you see a lot and a lot of abundance. They take care of the stomach, they eat what? It is a birthday o'clock once again. We want to say congratulations to African grandmama. On this day, she didn't celebrate it in Africa. She is in the Chinese environment with her in-law. And her birthday fell in when she visited her daughter in the Chinese environment. And in fact, they celebrated it in amazing way. In such, amazing way. Well, have you seen the Chinese celebrate their birthday in this kind of manner where the cake itself or the icing from the cake will be rubbed all over their faces? They beautified their face. Each and every one of them is such a fun. In fact, it's a good moment, and it's a kind of getting to know each other, getting to feel free, and also to love the environment in which they find themselves. Well, before we forge ahead, we want to say thank you so much to the boys for organizing this birthday package for our African grandmama. Just as I said earlier, the gap between the Chinese people and African, let me say the Chinese husband and the African wife, is not far any longer. There's a close relationship and there's a genuine relationship. The way African lady is being treated, and that is the way the Chinese wife is there also being treated. There's no demarcation. There's no I'm a Chinese or she's the Chinese from Chinese, so we should treat her in this way or in this manner, or to say she's black, we should treat her or pamper her in this kind of manner, or the kind of food she will eat, or the kind of place she will use, the spoon, whatever thing they are using, they are also sharing with our African lady and our African grandmama. It's such an amazing moment, yes. And I think with this, some will see the importance of getting married to the Chinese people, because the gap those days it was quite far different. For those days, there's a kind of imbalance in relationship, imbalance in thoughts. I'm seeing the difference in relationship, difference in language, difference in culture and tradition that cause a kind of setback or a rethink, which most persons start thinking even after getting married. They are not too sure if this is their wife, but the present marriage now is a kind of a remarriage, a re-love, and in fact a redisplay of honesty and a redisplay of togetherness, which they are showing us each day. Well, you can note that not only them were invited to the table, there were a lot of participants or stressful well wishers who also participate in the birthday celebration. Once again, a big congratulations to our African lady or African grandmama. Well, they have to make African grandma to be shown instead. Well, I think they shouldn't. It's necessary. Let's just leave the two lovebirds one side and face our African grandmama. A big congratulations to you. I will say happy birthday to you once again. Celebrate and enjoy your moments. All right, this is I'll be wrapping up today's episode, and I hope you're enlightened onto this package. Please still stay tuned and stay blessed, and always remember, lovelies. Stay cool for now. Bye for now.